guys, welcome to Etyland, and today we are finally doing the 4-month review of AYN Thor. Before we get into the video, I just want to say that this is not going to be a very positive video. This is going to be rather close to a rant. So if you don't want to hear about that, I strongly recommend you to leave this video because in the past I didn't have good experience with AYN 2. And I just want everyone to be respectful in the comment section. So I'm not like bad mouthing AYN, and instead, if you watch my previous review on AYN Thor, you know that I love this handheld, and I'm going to have a relatively negative review towards it at my 4-month mark with a good reason. So if you are interested in that, bear with me and I'm going to talk into details. But if you don't like me like being a party pooper or whatever you want to call me, then just please go away. So let's begin with the good things first. Just to be coherent with my previous review, I do have a lot of things that I think AYN Thor is doing really good, including using this chipset, the 8 Gen 2, which provides a very solid power for as a gaming handheld, so you can basically play PC games and higher end emulations, and it's relatively stable. I mean, quite stable. Sometimes we get some shutterings, but that could also because of the emulators itself. So, in terms of performance, is still there, and I'm not changing my feel on it. And I also like the buttons. After 4 months, I still think the buttons are very easy to reach, and I do like how clicky they are, and I still find it comfortable to hold, although now I have a Retro Pocket 6 and it feels like holding a Retro Pocket 6 is a little bit more comfortable than holding an AYN Thor because in the end of the story is flat. So having a little bit of grip would be easier. You can always buy a third-party grip or the one from the official sites, but I think they are a little bit too big for me, so I didn't buy them, and I am open to consider buying them later, but that's a separate issue. I also like how frequent we are getting this kind of OTA updates. It actually helps me to improve my streaming quality from Steam Link, and I believe I talked about that in my previous video that even though it is using Wi-Fi 7, the streaming quality was very bad because the Wi-Fi speed was slower than any other handheld that I had. But ever since the second or the third OTA update, they actually made some improvement in the Wi-Fi, and I don't know whatever magic they did. The Wi-Fi speed was a lot better, and we can get a much better streaming quality from Steam Link. So ever since then, I was able to play my games through Steam Link, and it's just so good. I know people would say that there are other options that are better than that of the Steam Link option, but this is the only viable option for me to do remote play. So I don't see any problem with it, and it is very stable as you can see. And because how smooth it is to stream from your PC, well, basically, there is nothing other than the Switch 2 exclusive games that cannot be played on this device. Basically, like 90%, 99% of the games in the market can be played on this device. Yeah, it sounds perfectly good, and with all these like dual screen things is amazing. It's a dreamy device, and I really like it. It's not like I don't like this device and I have to badmouth this. No, I love it. I absolutely love it. But then I also see other problems happening at the 4-month mark of having this device. And the issues I'm seeing are mainly related to after sales service, durability, and the ease of maintenance. If you have been following my channel, you probably know that my Thor's fan has been broken for more than a month, and today is the 28th of February, and I still have not received any notification of the fan being sent. With that being said, I do receive some comments saying that they didn't receive any shipment notification and the fan replacement kit just pop up in their post. However, I did ask AYN whether they have sent me the kit or not. In our previous email exchange, they mentioned that they would try to send it to me before Chinese holiday, Chinese New Year holiday, but then I haven't got any update, and I also sent an email to them after Chinese New Year, but I still haven't received any email from them. I understand that they have got tons of email in their mailbox probably during the holiday, so they won't be able to reply me immediately. But yeah, this is frustrating. And this actually drifting my interest from Thor to my Steam Deck and my Switch too, because of better performance, less fan noise, and more solid durability of the handheld itself. I can imagine someone would say 1.5 months is not too long and stop yapping, but think about this. Most of the fans are not going to be broken at the very beginning when you receive your device, and I've got quite a few comments saying that they also had their fan broken at their 2 months or 3 months mark. By simple calculation, if you have to wait for 1.5 months to get them sent you the replacement kit and another 2 weeks to receive your fan, by the time you are really fixing the issue, is already almost half of the warranty period. When the fan is normal, the fan noise is okay, is acceptable. But if it is not, I guess that's enough. I guess you got the point, right? So basically, even at max volume, I couldn't really hear any conversation of the voice acting with that fan noise. It actually makes me think a lot. I mean, we have all this power on the chipset to push onto higher end emulations and gamings, but is it going to have any damage towards the durability of the device? I mean, especially for the fan, and it can get quite hot if you really push it. After all, if the durability is not keeping up with the power, it sounds like it is defeating the purpose of having such a higher end chipset on it. I do really hope that the fan replacement kit is going to fix all the issues, as the other would say, and I hope the fan would last as long as it could. And I also hope that for the batch 2, batch 3, or batch 4 people, they won't face the same situation. But we can't foresee the future, so we have to wait a few months to see if anything would come up. And I really don't want that to happen. I literally don't want it to happen to anybody, even if I hate that person. But, anyways, we do see that there are some things in the QC that they need to fix. In the beginning, most of us were not so sure about the hinge of the AYN Thor. At this point, my hinge is still perfectly fine and I don't see any crack. But I did see a few people talking about that on Reddit, but I don't see that as my issue right now, and I hope it doesn't appear to my device at all. I mean, if your hinge is broken, you need to send it back to them. But then if your fan is broken, they're just going to send you a replacement kit. What if the part is discontinued in the future? How are you going to deal with it? I know many people seeing the AYN Thor as an endgame device. It has its potential, but with all this issue happening in the fan or the hinge, and it only has 1 year of warranty, and they also discontinued the Odin portal and so on. It is not going to last forever, of course, I understand that, but then it is not as durable as a Steam Deck or as a Switch 2. So, what happened if it is broken somehow after the warranty? That's the part that I worried the most. I mean, I still have my Retro Pocket 2 Plus working fine. I still have my Mio Mini Plus working fine. I take good care of my handhelds. My PSP 2000 is still working. So does many of other handhelds. But in 3 months, the fan is broken like that? That's not acceptable. Bear in mind that they are just sending you the kit for replacement. So for most of the time, I guess they are not going to receive you sending in your device for replacement or like maintenance. Well, of course, within the warranty, I guess you can do a lot of negotiation. But think about this, if you are a girl who has no prior knowledge to this kind of thing, first of all, it is very hard for a girl to open up the AYN Thor. It's not easy at all. It took me like 20 minutes to just figure out how to open it because it was too hard and I don't want to break it. Second of all, not everyone is an electrician. You may say, it's very easy, you just have to loosen up a few screws and take it out and replace it. Yes, for a guy, but not everyone has that knowledge. And they are just relying on their customers to do this kind of maintenance on themselves, and that's not easy. It's not something that you could bring to GameStop or whatever toy store for a fix to ask someone to fix it for you. No, these are niche products, and you can't find someone to help you with that if you're not in that environment. My dad used to fix things in my household, so I learned a little bit of this and that from him, but that's not everyone's story. Even for my husband, has no idea. Is AYN Thor a good handheld? Yes, it is. I'm not going to take back any of my compliments to the AYN Thor from my previous review. It is a good handheld. It is powerful, it's versatile, it provides a lot of added value, it's portable, it's beautiful, and it also has good sound quality. It just take every boxes I had for a handheld. That doesn't change. But is this going to be a durable handheld? Is this going to be an endgame handheld? Now I have a lot of doubts. I've been spending time on my Switch 2, my Steam Deck, and my Retro Pocket 6 ever since my Thor is broken. I do miss my Thor a lot, and I really love how versatile it is. I mean, it just plays everything mostly, and it has a bigger screen than that of Retro Pocket 6, to your surprise. It's a good handheld, like, I love it. But then I always concerned about when and how it is going to be broken. And what if it happens outside of the warranty? Like, how can I deal with that? Those are the things that I really couldn't stop thinking about my AYN Thor. The more I love my AYN Thor, the more I concern about its durability. I mean, with all these things happened, and also there is a possibility of the hinge being broken after the warranty. We don't know about that. I'm not trying to spread fear on the durability or the QC of an A1 Thor. I'm just talking about my concern and my experience. I hope you understand that. You may say, oh, maybe 1 year later we are going to have an AYN Thor 2. Yeah, probably. I mean, this is how they do their business. I think they will. But then, is that the best way to spend your money in this economy? I'm not broke, but then I also think we do not need to upgrade our gaming handheld every single year or twice a year because it's not going to bring you to an extra mile. Even if we are using the 8 Elite, it is going to provide you a better experience, but most of the games are going to be also available on H Gen 2. It's not going to bring you a whole new world. I'm not regretting buying the AYN Thor, and in fact, I really love it and is a wonderful device. But is it going to last for a longer period of time? It is going to be durable? I do have a lot of questions. And if it breaks, you probably need to have the knowledge to fix it on your own. And at least to me, AYN team has not been very helpful in terms of sending the replacement kit or just the whole maintenance situation. So that would also happen, and you have to bear in mind when you buy a device. If you really want to go without any struggle of maintenance and stuff, you really have to consider a Steam Deck or a Switch 2 if you want. Anyways, I do hope that it was only the batch 1 problem and there's nothing happen with batch 2 and batch 3. And that's pretty much about today's video. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!